Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. Hope everybody had wonderful holidays and safe holidays. If you're wondering why I have not been streaming much lately, it's because I haven't been streaming much lately. Yeah, if I had to put a reason on it, just have not felt well, and yeah, so I just didn't stream. Plus, I've been testing a few games, so whatever. As the title suggests here, going to be working on deployable items. And as usual, I don't have a damn clue what the hell I'm doing or how I'm going to do it. So we'll figure it out on the fly. Alright. So I'm guessing the first thing I need to do is actually create a deployable item. Another thing that I'm going to want to do with this deployable item is require a resource for it, and in this particular case it's going to be to deploy a fortress. It's going to be in multiple stages. It's not going to be 100% complete item within the usual 1 hour time stream that I do these streams, because I usually have to stop and answer questions and so forth. So I have a test map. There we go, test map, and a little dude running around in. So, what I'm going to want to do is create an item like a building or a fortress or the beginnings of a construction system. It'll be multi-phase, multi-part. And again, I'll probably change it about a half dozen times. But I want to be able to deploy an actor to the screen or to the map and have it stay there, and then, of course, later on be visible to multiplayer and, that kind of stuff. Have health, so it can be destroyed and can be repaired, can be upgraded maybe, or whatever. How we doing there, buddy? So let's create a test item first off, and just as a test item, I'm in my gadgets folder, and I will just go ahead and start off with creating an actor. And I'm just going to call this test deploy, or whatever, test item. That test item is just going to be a cube. We're going to be very imaginative. Alright, so regular cube. And I love how it deploys it below the line. But, okay. Compile and save, and that's our test item. And if we wanted to, we could actually spawn this into the map so we can see that it's there. It is an actual tangible item. Okay, so our player character, we want to... Then let's go ahead and get all of our startup stuff, whatever. Scroll over here. We need a variable... Well, let's get it spawning first, and then we'll worry about conditional stuff afterwards. So how's everybody doing? Keyboard F. That sounds good. We'll hit F for freaking placing it. Then we'll assume that it would be spawn actor from class. The selected actor is going to be test item spawn transform. Okay, so that brings us to another point right here. Yeah, I know. There's no spawn transform. Okay, so let's look at our character. We need a place for it to actually spawn. So let's actually go ahead and add in a... normally I would do like a scene component or an arrow, or... let's just put in an arrow for now. Actually, you know what? No. Let's actually put in a visible item that we can see. And we'll make it a... oh, who cares? A plane. And what I want to do is lower it down to actual 0. So it's at the bottom of where his feet are, and then we'll place it forward a little bit. So that's just where it's going to be, and I'll just change its name to Deploy Spot. Now, we can actually come in here, and since it wants a location to put it down here, let's go ahead and get a reference to our deploy spot. And let's get the world transform and tell it to go there. And instigator, it should be self. Not sure that it's really going to matter all that much right now. And we'll put that for owner. But at least for right now, what we can do is when we hit the F key, we're actually going to spawn something. So now, as we can see, we've got that little item there. We wouldn't want it to actually be and we need to raise it back up. Deploy spot. Yeah, see, we wouldn't want it to always be out. So, we could actually come in here. It's a little high. But let's deploy. So at least we know that we can deploy something here. See, it works a whole lot better whenever you actually have control. And what happens when we overlap? They are overlapping. So these items don't actually have physics. So at least we know we can do it. We can spawn it and it'll go there. Let's actually take a look at our gadget. And let's say we actually simulate physics and throw some mass to it. And physics actor, let's block all dynamic. This should cause some issues whenever we go to place a thing down. So now we got it, and see what happens now is our little scooper thing here where we're placing our item is actually going to interfere with it. So what we can do for now is take this display, the words, and no collision. So it doesn't interfere with it, and let's actually move it forward a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see. But at least we know that we can now deploy an item. So we can have basic control. We can do it this way. So if we want to do it like that, there we go. So now this doesn't interfere with it anymore. Of course, it's not letting us change our up and down or left and right on it. But if we come in here and try to place one inside of it, it'll automatically move itself over a little bit. Probably not ideal. So what I would probably do is, with our test item, is actually not have the physics, but just have the collisions to it. So that way, when we place it down, it's going to be a static object then. So there we go. Keep one on the left click to place it. So that's that. I mean, it's not like it's a great thing. And it's not a real tangible item. And of course, we don't want that big thing flopping around whenever we're doing that. But later on, what we could do is make that to where it's actually like a glowing item, something like that, the outline of what we're trying to deploy. But at least we know we can deploy an item. So if we actually wanted to make an actual item to go there, that would be the next thing. Mesh. Let's create a sample mesh here for what I want to create, and let's create a kind of a bunker situation. You could use BSP geometries, or could use these. Let's try it with geometries first. Let's break out a cylinder, and we want to, let's take a 12 outer radius of 20. And I want to rotate it around. So we can actually place it onto the ground. The Z height, let's make it 400. Let's actually try it at 500. Alright, so that'll be good for right now. Get 500. And material-wise, should have thought about the material first. Let's just try that material there. Get the material on here. Let's actually click on one of the faces, select all adjacent surfaces, and boop, there we go. So now when we click off, we got our log, and let's just change it to log. So now I can actually take that and Control C, Control V, and Control C, Control V. Thank you. So it's like stacking logs here. How many logs high can we deploy and still shoot around? Let's actually change that. Change that to half the height, 10. And now I like 15. So we want it to be just a hair above the ground. So I'm probably going to have to turn off snapping. Well, that looks okay for now. So now we can Control C, Control V, and paste a couple of them in. Take a look. So that's good. So you can place a barricade wall there and allow us to block incoming shots and things like that. I think what I'd want to do is create like a window effect. Let's Control V, paste another one in, and shorten it up. Ew, no, let's try 200. 150. Let's grab both of those and place that down. Now, as we're going along and making upgrades to this system here, I would say it would probably be cool to make it to where there's multiple versions of this. So a completed version, damn. So we need 7, 9, 11, and 5. It's not quite on the edge. Yay, you're going to be a pain in the ass. So that means that we need 4, 6, 8, and 10. So that gives us a little barricade. And let's put 2 layers on the top. Actually, Control C, Control V. And since we probably want some defense on the side here, let's actually take that 4, 6, 8, and 10. Control C and Control V. And we want a little bit of stick out so it looks like a log wall. How's that? That look better? And that is at 395. Control C, Control V. Actually, that's at 215. So now we take a look at it. We actually have a windowed wall we can hide behind. We can deploy that down and set that up whatever we want to. Alrighty, now let's grab all of them, since that is our new deployable item. Actually, I think it should probably be smaller, but to make it smaller, see, that is going to be 12 and 13. So those are no longer 500. Let's make them 300. And we're probably going to have to make those shorter. Yeah, just a wee bit. Try it at 100. So that was 17, 18, nope. 17, 16, 15, and 14. Ah, shit. Wasn't quite right. Alright, so that's that. And just gotta move these guys. No. Dumbass. That's at 110. Alright, so that's symmetrical. We've got a little barricade we can drop down, and there we go. Now we'll take and select all these guys together, come down to here, and we want to look for the brush settings, extend that down, and we say create static mesh. I'm going to put this in my assets folder, mesh, and log Fort. That's good enough, because it's probably going to change about 16,000 times. So now it's all one individual piece, but we're going to have to make some changes to it. So let's find it. I'm going to go in here, and here's the thing, is collisions. We're not going to have really good collisions for this. Because if we look at the basic or simple collisions, there is none. And even if we went here and said block all, which is already there, it's not going to be 100% correct. And if we just apply a simplified collision, and even that, what's going to happen is we're not going to be able to get in there because that collision is going to encompass that. The best way to do this is to actually make your own collisions. And there's a couple different ways of doing that. So let's actually do collision, remove collision. And you'd want to make a custom collision for it. I'm not going to do that right now. What I'm going to do is cheat and do what everybody hates and use that. For testing, this is just going to be perfectly fine. So now if I go back over here to my test item, viewport, cube, it's already a static mesh, and all I'm going to do is come in here and find log fort. You can see there's no material on here. So let's grab that and do that. But what's going to happen now when we go in here is go to play, hit F. It's going to be under the ground a little bit, so we're going to have to fix that. And you notice it's not going to be in the correct location either. So we want to make sure that we can see this little mesh here so we know where the ground is. And the best way to do this is, especially if you've got multiple monitors, is what's happening, skippy. Throw that onto a different monitor, and you won't be able to see what I'm doing here. But I can come over here and see we got a test location there. Hit F, and it's not bad. But I'm over here in the other monitor, and I'm moving the height up and down so I can get the height just right. So that looks good. We're going to hit save, hit stop, and now we can move this guy back over here. Now, let's look at the location of it. Centered wise, I hit F, and it's offset to the left. Because we can't see what we're placing, so we can actually do this. Since we know that that little circle, that white circle, is going to be the center, I'm just going to eyeball it, and that should be good enough. Now, if we wanted to do the same thing here, we could do our deploy spot, and actually, whenever we are in deployment mode, for right now, we just have this visible all the time. So I can come over here and tell it to be that. And again, we're going to have a problem because it's not going to show up correctly. You can see we have a material here that's all white because I didn't change the material on it. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to drag that blueprint to another monitor so I can see. And I'm going to hit play. As you can see, it's no bueno. But wherever we place that, if I hit the F now, see, it's way up in the air. So we got to figure out something there. Our test item, oh, sorry, shit. Our player. I'm just going to look on the screen for the player. And let's fix the one thing at a time here. So you can see our item is actually above the ground. So I'm going to go over to that blueprint. And I'm going to move it around. So now I can see live where my object is. And that'll be good. Now I can actually come back in here and hit stop, and we'll hit play again. So now, as we're running around, we're in deploy mode. Hit F. Now we need to figure out why it is there. Because see, like right here on the test item, that's where it is on the ground, and we see where that is, and that's fine. But because the center point is here, we're going to end up, and this is cool to be able to see that. So what I'll do is rename this to Fort Ghost. And then what I'll do is I'll add another component. And this can be an arrow. And this is Fort Place. And you see I had that selected and I put it there. I don't want it there. So I'm going to drag it up on top of itself again. And that'll put it there. So what I want to do with it is make sure that I zero it out so I know where it is. And now I can take it and lower it to ground level. I don't know where let's try it at 90, and we'll try it here so that it's just underneath the center of our deployment area. So let's see what happens if we try that now. So we can see where we want to place it. We hit F. And why the hell did you still go up there? Because that arrow is still right here where it's going to place. So we need to, I guess, match that arrow with their shit. No. That's fine. We just need to quit being stupid and delete that and put that in there. Because I was being dumb. So now if we come in here and choose to place it, it's there. It needs to be moved up a little bit, but viewport, Fort Place. Try to 85. Still sticking in the ground a little bit. We don't need you open. You go away now. Hell, I'll just jack it up a little higher. And now it needs to go back down. Something to be fidgeted with, you know. Just sit there and play around with the item placement. So that we don't have this thing up in front of our face all the time. Let's change some things around here. So F is going to place that. For now, let's do keyboard E. And we'll use the E key to turn that on and off. So, Fort Ghost. Get a reference to that, and we'll do a flipper flopper. And let's do set visibility. And what I'll do is Control C, Control V, paste that into there, and that into there. And we'll tell it to be true and false there. And we'll do this, Fort Place. will be visible to false. So when we first go in here and we start playing, we want that to be... Why are you still there? Oh, this is where we want fort play. No, we want fort ghost. Because fort ghost is this guy. Uncheck visible there. Compile and save. I'm going to do fort place, and we'll make that visible again. All right, had the wrong thing selected there. So there we go. We don't have it visible. We can make it visible now and run around. Okay, and then do that. Make it more complicated. We have to make it more complicated. Tool simple. So let's go ahead and make a new variable, and is what the hell is ghost visible? And now let's do ghost visibility. So now we have a variable for that. And we'll do this. At the end, we will do a set node on that. Yeah, well, you weren't here from the beginning, so yeah, what I was saying earlier was, for right now, want to make it placeable and usable, and then create a resource for it that you have to harvest ahead of time. Ghost visibility. Probably not the way I want to go here. So let's keep confusing everything, including myself. And we'll do a branch. So, I actually want branch over here as well. So let's, for now, take you out of here. Take you and you. And throw a branch in here. And we'll throw you in here. So what we want to do here is check to see if ghost visibility is true. If it is true, then we can spawn that actor. And then after we do it, we set ghost visibility to false. So what I should probably do here then is actually create custom events to make this work. And we don't need the branch there. So run this flip-flop. That's going to be a thing. And then for our ghost visibility, for the fort, I'm going to remake that, but I'm going to do it as custom events. Ghost viz on. And this will work towards later on whenever I go to do this in replication. And then custom ghost viz off. So what we'll do with that now is from here we can do ghost viz on, and from here ghost viz off. And we're going to have to change a few things again here also, so that we can verify that we have this. If it's already on, it's not going to do anything. but we'll worry about that later. That way, if we already have it on, we'll worry about doing the failsafe later. Instead of doing that, we'll do is we will do Ghost Viz off. Now it'll run that custom event to turn it off. And now it's just going to check to see if we have our visibility on or off. So from our custom events, I will come down here and we'll do set ghost visibility. Actually, I'm going to put the other stuff in between here also. We'll get our fort ghost, set visibility, run that to there, and then that to there. This one to her. And I guess I should have. So off is going to be unchecked and on is going to be checked. And checked. So what will happen here is when we press E, it's going to set the visibility of our little ghost thingy to true. If we hit it again, it'll turn it to false. So what I was saying here before is if we ran a branch node here just to find out some things, is it on? If it is true, actually, let's do get ghost visibility. And for now, let's do not Boolean. So if it is not true, then turn it on or turn it off. Then that should break things or work. Either one. Hell, I don't know. So we're coming here. We don't have it. We can't place the fort because we don't have the deployment mode on. So we turn the deployment mode on. Let's go into first person so we can move it around, get it just where we want it, and hit the F key. And see, it turned it off. Didn't place it in the correct location, but that's okay. That's something that's fixable. But that worked. Let's actually turn this back visible again. And let's click on that. Try it again. So, oh, forgot to turn it back off. Excuse me. So now we'll go in here and we're running around. We've gathered up all of our resources and let's go ahead and build where we want to build. Still wrong, but close enough for government work. So there we go. We just built a temporary fortification, and that's great. And then it'll be there forever and ever and ever, and it can never go away. So what I would suggest probably is we're done with the player for now. Let's actually go back into our gadget blueprint. And on event begin play. For now, this is just for testing. What I'll do here is set lifespan just so we can make it go away. Testing purposes, we're going to set it to 5 seconds. You really wouldn't want it to only last for 5 seconds. But, okay. Deploy, bang. So in 5 seconds, its lifespan should end and it'll go away automatically. Yay, and there was much rejoicing. Now, another thing you would want to do probably with something like that is set a health variable to it. And as you are inflicting damage on it, it can then be destroyed and go away. Or you can set it up to where whenever it starts to take damage, it goes to another style. So let's actually take that and make it 30 seconds. So get our placement thing, place it, turns the mode back off again. So now we're sitting here shooting this thing and it's taking damage. So what we could do is create another version of the same thing. And I don't know if I'm smart. I just get lucky whenever I make shit up as I go along. So you can see with that, you actually can use this as a way of getting onto taller objects. That would be cool. But so you'd want to make another one that's pretty much the same thing, where you have like the log fortification, and it's actually got logs missing from it, and make it look like it's damaged. So therefore, if you get close enough to it, it'll have a health bar. Or if you set up a widget to pull up a health bar or whatever else, you could actually then repair it. Or if you're trying to attack and someone just is being a total dork and crouching down and hiding behind this thing and not wanting to come out, then you can make it destroyable to where it starts crumbling and falling apart, and then when it gets to a certain amount of damage, it'll just go away. Like I did with the car, the yellow car and that other thing, all you're doing is setting to where, and here's the thing, is I created this test object, and I didn't do like I normally do, and undo once I save it. So now I don't have the original one to work with. So I'll actually have to go back in here and recreate it by hand. So we did that. We did a cylinder. We did 12 sides. We made the outer radius was 15. The Z height for the long width was 400. Rotated it this way. And I'm actually going to go ahead and throw one of those into the map just so I can get an idea. I think that is actually longer than 200. See, that's where I don't like having materials down. Yeah, it was 400. Or 300. Because this block is, you can see because it has no material on it, is 300 by 300. And I can see 100% of how wide it is. Alright, so there we go. And that way we know it's 300 wide, so we can come back to this guy and make it 300. And I just want to, and this is probably not the best surface to work on because it's not a perfect flat environment. So for now, I'm just going to put it right there. So we know that it's 300. And I will call that log. And what I'll do is grab that log, Control C and Control V, and I will just move you the hell out of the way. So I actually, no, let's move the original log the hell out of the way so I don't accidentally delete it again. So we're going to start with log 2. And just because I have so many OCDs, 0 and 0. Now, from here, what I want to do is you can see the pivot points in the middle, and that works for me. For now, let's make it, we had it 3 logs high this way, Control C and Control V. I'm just going to create a damaged version of it. Alright, so, and this is totally just crap. These are all temporary things just to get the hang of what we're trying to accomplish. So I believe those were 100. Yes, those are 100 wide. So I need to, another log here. Change the Z to 100. Let's put it on this side. And Control C, Control V. And the window is 4 logs high. So what I'll do is I'll grab those guys. And I'm recreating basically the same thing here. And let's do this, but here's where we need to do that. The reason why I put this back at 0, 0, 0 location is so that I can get it lined up this way. 115, and we'll do Control C, Control V, and do it 115 this direction. So now it's symmetrical, and now I can grab all them guys. But here's a problem. They're longer. So we need to make them... How much longer were they? Well, that looks good. So this is the actual fortification here without the top 2 logs on it. So what I want to do is actually create this as the first level of destruction. So if this is a normal one, this is an undamaged version. So what I should probably do is create a new folder, log fort, grab everything in here, Control C and Control V, and then put those in that folder. Move to log fort, and now I've got a copy of it. And I can manipulate one set at a time. So what I'll do is I'll grab this set, and I can just move them out of the way. That way I'm not killing my original. This is what I should have done the first time. Okay, so to make this look damaged or destroyed or a little bit, um, really and truly, if you were going to make this as a modular item, you could do the first 3 logs only, and then on these, do the first 3. Skip this 4th log, and from here on up. And then as you upgrade it, then it now has the window section with the top piece in it. But, you can do whatever you want to make this as modular as you want, and have an upgrade system to actually upgrade it as you go along. But for now, this will work. If I wanted to do that, I could also do this. Grab the first 3 logs, Control C, Control V. Now I got a mini fort. But since they're not in here, I'm starting at 45, a good number. Create a new folder, mini fort. We'll go back in here, number 45 through foot of 3. Right click, move to mini fort. And since I want to be all kind of neat and organized, long log, move log in there. So he has his own little home. So now we have our original we're not going to mess with. We've got our half fort we can work with. So if we ever wanted to make a copy of it, make a damaged version, we can. And this is why this is a test map. You don't have to worry about it being there in any way. For a damaged version, I would say probably you want to create a whole new mesh, but this being the case, that these are logs. See, this is log number 22. We can grab that one and change it just for now from 300 to 250. And then, whatever, we'll do the same thing on this one, just to have a visible reference. Hey, this is the damaged version versus the normal version. Let's see here. 7, no. So 1, 2, 3. You can just change it up however you want, just to kind of make it a different, like you could actually make shorter logs, damaged logs, change the materials on it so it looks like it's burnt or damaged or whatever. Do whatever you want with them. This was just to get started with creating an actual deployable item. Just want to have a variance of what they would look like in different states. So this would be stage 1, or this could be stage 1, and if you only had 1 log, you bring it over and you deploy it, this is where it is. And then make it to where the player can keep upgrading by hitting the G key or whatever you want to do for your input for it. And then whatever you add to your second log, you get the bottom row of the ones that go this way. Whereas the third log would then go on top of this, and then, whatever. So if you look at this right here, this would actually be 3 logs long and 3 logs short, so half logs. So there will be a total of 6 logs you would need to harvest to be able to create this. And then for this one, we're adding in 1 more layer, so that's 2 more. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 logs total would be what you'd need to collect to be able to build this fortification. So we go into our deploy mode, and then bang, yes, okay, we deployed a full one here, but that's where it's entirely up to you guys to come up with your own creative ways of doing this. If you wanted to deploy only the 1 log, then go right ahead. And then make it where you either set up a snapping system or an individual place. Um, Snapping system to me, I think, is a good way to go. So if you come back over here with a whole log and you try to place it, it automatically would then cut it in half and then place it on the sides. Because if you built the vertical wall straight up and you didn't have any support to it, it would just fall over. See, that one is already undeployed. Because it set a lifespan to 30 seconds. But like I said, you could add health to it. So you come in here, create a variable, and health. Make that a float. Compost and save. Say we'll make it 100. Make it whatever you want. I don't have anything to apply damage right now, so. And then essentially you're creating a health system. You do the same thing you would with a player, setting up a health check system, and if it detects that health is equal to or less than 0, then it undeploys. Or if it's at, if you think about it, if the health is 100 and you apply 20 damage to it, it goes to this state. So you would then say if health equals or less than 80, then you are essentially destroying this and creating this. So you could do set visibility of this static mesh to false and set visibility to this static mesh to true, because you'd want to go back in here and rejoin all these back together again. So if you come back and have them all selected, yeah, it's simple math though. So I would put this at like log fort 80 or whatever you want for your naming convention, so you know that this is the mesh for when it's at 80% health. And if it's less than 50, then this is all you got left, or equal to or less than 50, then it draws this one. Or, God, there's so many different ways you can go about doing this. That's just crazy. I like the idea of the half fort, but I don't currently have crouching set up in this project because there's no combat set in here yet. So you'd want to crouch and stand back up again. But as for multiplayer replication, I haven't done any replication on this whatsoever. Let's go in here and select play. We'll do 2, new pie. I know it's not going to work correctly in multiplayer replication, so I'm not so much worried about it right now, but it is doable. I didn't want you to snap to that. I want you to just get your ass right over here. So this is only, like I said, to me, to deal with resizing these windows, it's only really a pain in the ass whenever I'm streaming, because I'm going to just put it on a different monitor. The server will be on the left monitor and the client will be in the middle or whatever, you know. So I'm not worried about it so much. This is the server. Yay, I'm the server. Now they can all see these guys because they're placed on the map. They're part of the map. So it's not a big deal. But if the server comes over here, if you look on the right side of the screen, of course you don't want anybody else to see the placement of the item, unless maybe you do, but you can see the client can't see it, and come over here as the client and try to walk through here, you're running into an invisible item that you can't see. It's like, why can't I walk through here? Why can't I do it? Something's wrong. Oh no. So yeah, you're not going to be able to actually have any replication just yet. So if I do this with the client and then that with the client can deploy one, but look what happened. He kind of fumbles through it, and it's not like, oh no, it's acting all weird because the client placed it and not the server. Now the server comes over here, they're having that weird interference issue with it as well. See, the client is viewing normal. You can see what happened now that the thing's even gone. I don't know. So yeah, I didn't even try to do any replication on any of it. So the whole point is to make shit work first, and then refine it, get it working correctly, and then you can actually go in here and say, okay, and this is not even a final product. So I'm not even worried about it working correctly with multiplayer. This was just a proof of concept to see if what I can do with this. And then once I add shooting or damage of some sort, maybe throwing grenades or axes or whatever, I don't know, for applying damage. This could be like a test medium for 80% damage, 50% damage, or 20% damage, 50% damage, 80% damage, and then whenever it gets to 80% damage, it'll just go away at that point. But it'll set a lifespan and just disappear because that's not much to hide behind. But as I develop the rest of the system here, I will come back in here and I will worry about replication later. Because the fact that I came in here and in the actual gadget itself, I didn't do anything. The only thing I've got in here is the lifespan. If I could just left it right here and checked class default, excuse me. Click on replicates there. It has no movement, so replicating movement isn't really a big deal. And if I try this now, yay, okay. So I'm the client. Hit E, hit F, and you see the server does not see it. So that's not like the magic fix all do all. But now the server can place one. And the client can see it. So let's let them both despawn here. Alright, I am server. Let's put it in here. Now the client can still see the one put down by the server. Hey, and the collision is okay on it. That one despawned. Okay. So that's half of the issue right there. It's just that we have not allowed the client to be able to place one yet. So, yay, and there was much rejoicing on that end. So the rest would have to be done in the player blueprint. But that was half of the battle. That's why I did these as custom events. Well, not those. I'll end up redoing this as a custom event. And it'll just be this part right here. The only part we really need is that. Because we need to be able to have the client tell the server that they're able to place the item. That's the only issue right now. So with that, I mean, press F, do the branch. This doesn't need to, the visibility of that doesn't need to be replicated. Spawn actor really doesn't need anything else. That's fine. That's fine. That can't be. And the ghost visibility doesn't need to be replicated because only that player needs to be able to see that the ghosted item. That's where we're coming up with a cool material that's pixelated or whatever, or faded away. It's just a little ghost image, so you can see the placement of where the item's going to go. I don't mess with materials much. Not my thing. So, ghost fizz on. Yeah, we don't need to worry about that. It's just that spawn actor. So we'll do custom client spawn fort. Let's try it as a multi-class. Multi-classed. Yeah, let's do it as a multi-classed. That sounds good, right? Okay, then from that, let's grab these guys. I don't know why I copied it. Let's actually just get that broken. Because we want that client call. We want it to be the actual, hey, do this. All right, so client spawn fort. Could probably even simplify this a little bit easier, but let's try it this way first. I may come back and refine it later. But then custom event server spawn fort. Well, let's learn how to spell. Switch as authority. Respect my authority. Yeah, never mind. Very poor South Park reference there. And then we can do that. Does it work? Don't have a damn clue. All right. That screws me up here. Okay. This is the client. Yay. Totally broken. Oh, because this needs to be run on server. Duh. Stupid ass. Skippy, I blame you for that. There. Collisions are working. Let's go over here as the server. Come over here as the server. And no collision issues. There we go. I can stand on it. Everything looks lovely. Do this and do that. And now the client can come over here. It's called teamwork. Yay. So you can stack them on top of each other and use this to make a system for getting on top of other things. But what happens when it disappears? Yay, you fall down. So, good to go. Client can come over here and let's go over here, press E, press F. Okay, now server, bring your donkey little ass over here. Why are they a different material color? And all right, Skippy, could you see a use for something like this? What do you think? For the project that we're working on, could you see where this could be useful as hell? You monkey boy. No. Skippy, can you see where that would be useful as hell? Okay. I'm going to walk over here and do the same thing since you weren't paying a damn attention. Come over here and jump up on this item. Come over here and let's deploy this thingy here and put a fort down, or whatever they may actually be. So now the client can come over here and I want to be helpful. So he'll come over here and he'll place his right there. And now he can come over here. Now, of course, would probably want to set it up to where there's, well, see, with having things despawn, I would probably lengthen the despawn period. But watch what happens whenever it despawns, though. And I can place an item, you can place an item, we can place items back and forth, and they keep stacking higher and higher and higher. But after a set amount of time, they just start despawning. So for the rest of you who don't know what we're talking about, you just don't know what we're talking about. It don't involve you. So yeah, I think that has potential for what we're working on to be absolutely just cool as shit. In fact, I don't know, make it a little bit farther away. Oh shit, I don't know. And see, you can spawn as many as you want. I don't have a limit of how many you can have spawned. So that could be problematic at some point. But what I will do is I will jump out of this live stream and so you can hit V and go into first person mode, and it's kind of, I know there's that weird camera thing, but I will change the item of which we are spawning here, and like the original test item was just a cube. I will make us a different one, and what I'll do is, for now, let me take a quick break, and I will come back and we'll send a private call so I can show you what I'm thinking. But that's cool. I do want to go in here and gadgets, and I'm going to go into here and set lifespan. We'll change it to 60 seconds. So now it takes a minute before it just vanishes. So now you come in here, you hit E, hit F. Now whenever I hit E again, nothing happens. So I want to take a look at that really quickly. I know about where it's broken, but so we're turning it off there. For now, let's just run it there. Alright, so I hit E. Nothing happens. So that wasn't it. So, still here, we're asking, is it not visible? Then turn it on. Ghost Fizz on. Set the visibility to on. Ghost Fizz off, we turn it to off. Ghost Fizz off. Alright, minor little inconvenience. Yeah. You know what? Minor inconvenience. For now, what will happen is when you press E, brings up the little ghost image. You hit F to place it down, It turns it off. That's good. That's what it's supposed to do. You hit E again, and nothing happens. So you have to hit E a second time. So minor inconvenience, but you know what? I think that's really cool because now I can place these items and allow me to get to areas where I don't need to be going like this and falling out of the damn world. The hell is that? A rogue log just out in the middle of nowhere. Log 23. Where the hell are you supposed to be, log 23? Alright, well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to save this and take a break for a little bit, and I'll get back with you in just a minute. And I want to thank everybody who stopped in to watch, and we will see you soon.